Cheers, y'all.
Well. Welcome, my friends, to this little radio program known internationally because I have a friend who's visiting Mexico this week, and he was going to be checking out the show. So
that's amazing.
We are known internationally
That's right.
as Smokin' and Toastin'. Welcome to the program. Welcome to show number 142. We are all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And we are brought to you by the fine folks and excellent chefs and bar maniacs. That's a new word I made up this week, bar maniacs.
Bar maniacs.
Because can you think of a better word to describe our friend Jeremiah at B&B Butchers and Restaurant?
He's pretty over the top.
Yeah,
man.
bar maniac. That's what he is. He's a bar maniac.
Have you ever been to B&B Butchers?
I haven't. I've heard good things.
Oh, yeah. Take a date. It's fantastic.
I'll tell you, yeah, not only is the food great and the bacon is in another world, another universe, but they have an extremely well-curated bar. And they are located at 1814 Washington Ave in Houston, in the shops at Clear Fork in Fort Worth. And there's also B&B Lemon, or BB Lemon, which is on Washington Ave, and BB Italia, which our boy Tom in the office here told me this week he went to BB Italia, and he said it was amazing. And we haven't been yet.
Yeah,
so
I have to go there.
We got to go check it out. So welcome to the show. It's show number 142. We have Backfish Brewing is in the house, and we're going to also share with you from an article from Maxim Magazine, 10 great cigars to smoke right now. See, when they put right now on it, I'm like...
Did you bring some of those so I can have one right now?
Right now? Well, I should have, but the thing that I took from that is like, I smoke a lot of cigars. I don't know if I can smoke 10 right now.
Right now, all at once.
Yeah, just one right after the other.
You just line them up in the ashtray.
Baby, that would be a big day of smoking. That would be like when we were in Honduras. That's what that'd be like.
You know those ashtrays, they call them the stinky ashtrays?
Yeah, the ones
the big bowl.
Yeah, it's a bowl.
And
they
usually
got you one of those for your birthday.
That's right. I have one outside, and it has 4 little cigar holder spots on it.
Yeah.
I got a buddy of mine that got one for his table outside, and it is, it's almost 2 feet across.
Well, I think yours is because I bought it for you for a gift. I think it's actually called the Lil Stinky.
Right.
Like
this thing could hold
X.
all 10 of those cigars. Yeah. It's got all those all the way around. It's like for a cigar party.
That's pretty cool. I don't collect very many things anymore. I used to collect all kinds of stuff. I collected books and CDs and DVDs and stuff, and now I just stream everything and do everything digitally. But the one thing that I do still kind of collect, well, I collect cigars, but of course they burn and then go away.
Yes.
But I do collect ashtrays. And so I've got all these really cool ashtrays. I love finding new ones and buying them, but I kind of use the same one all the time.
I love the one that you have that's the rectangle.
Uh-huh.
And it has the spot for your cigar on each end,
yes.
But it has the little sliding piece in the middle that allows you to adjust for the length of your cigar.
And that's a beautiful,
that's a really nice
one. Well done. I bought that actually at one of the stogies events, the big wingding, yes, wingding
nice.
Thing. They had that at a table. So anyway, welcome to the show. It's going to be really good. We're excited about Backfish. We're excited about some of the things that are going on in the news. Not so excited about a few others. And then we also will be tasting. I brought a new one today in. I think you might be excited about this. It's the Don Abraham Organic Single Estate Añejo Tequila.
Organic. Now, I've noticed from most grocery stores that when you put the word organic in front of it, that means incredibly expensive.
It costs more. Yeah, this one, to be honest, was not that pricey. It was. I want to say it was about a $40 bottle, which is not at all bad for a bottle of Añejo. But I also was thinking about this. Wouldn't all tequila be organic? I mean, unless you were using like pesticides and stuff on the agave, which I don't think that most of them do, right?
Not all beer is organic, but
that's true. But what does qualify as organic, really? I mean, because there has to be some.
I think so.
Measure.
So our usage of the word organic has been changed over the years, and obviously it means in the grocery aisle it means no pesticides, but organic really just means carbon based, which I think most things are.
Which would mean that you and I are both organic.
That's right.
Yes. And I've never been
accused
of that.
The stand for this microphone is not.
Correct.
But
because it's not carbon-based, yeah. But that makes sense. So anyway, I think you could probably label almost any plant's organic.
Yes, if it was ever alive, it's actually organic by the definition of the term organic.
My favorite thing is when something that has never had GMO, they start advertising it as non-GMO.
Right.
Like, oh, we crafted a new formula. It's non-GMO. And I'm not Global Mountain Organization. What is GMO? I don't remember. But anyway.
Get your gluten-free gluten here.
So in addition to Maxim Magazine's 10 Great Cigars to Smoke right now, which we'll share those with you, Uprocks, which is a pretty cool website, has named the best independent American whiskeys, and that'll be an interesting list to take a look at as well. And as if all of that wasn't enough, Jim Beam Black beat a whiskey that cost almost $3,000 a bottle in a recent taste test. So we'll have the results of that for you and tell you a little bit about what Jim Beam Black, I think, is $23, $24. Yep. So, and not bad, although I wouldn't put it in my favorites category.
It's the step up above Jim Beam.
Right, exactly.
Which is your standard Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah. So do you have a bottle of Jim Beam Black in your bar at home?
I do not.
Okay, I didn't think so.
I do not.
So, all right. So we'll talk about that. So, we're very excited to introduce Caleb from Backfish, who's our guest on the show today. Caleb, welcome to the program.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Now, we'll get into the in-depth questions, like I know any in-depth questions, but we'll get into the questions about the beer in the next segment. But before we go any further, Backfish, Bakefish, which one's correct, and what does it mean? Where did it come from?
Backfish.
Backfish,
The two owners, Brian and Chris, is what Back stands for.
Okay, Brian and Chris. Makes sense.
And then Fish would be
what they like to do?
Chris is in college, micro or marine biology.
Okay. So
that's where the fish comes in.
So, well, it's a very cool name, and we've had some of the beers on the show before, and always liked them, and always thought, there's something going on there in Pearland. You know what I mean? There's something going on. So we'll let you tell us about the origins of the brewery and some of the things that you guys do, and what's in the future. And I'm really curious to get your take. How long has Backfish been operating?
A little over 3 years.
Okay, so I'll be real interested to get your taste on where the whole craft beer thing is right now, because it's changed a lot in the 3 years since you guys came onto the scene. So anyway, I think it'll be a very interesting show. Oh, by the way, Metallica has found a new distiller to replace the late and great Dave Pickerel. Thank you. For some reason, I was just having a brain fart. I couldn't think of his name. Dave, who has been on the show and is quite a character and quite a distiller.
Yes.
Who came up with the recipe for Blacken, Metallica's whiskey. He passed away unexpectedly last year in San Francisco, and so they've chosen his successor basically to kind of take over the reins of Blacken. So we'll tell you a little bit.
How do you follow that up?
Well, it's kind of a double whammy. You're following arguably the biggest name, if not certainly one of the best.
Oh yeah,
the biggest name in distilling. And it's basically like you just got invited to join Metallica. I mean, think about it. You know what I mean? It's kind of a cool thing. So, so no pressure. In other words, no pressure. So it's been a very interesting week for me. I assume it has been for you, but I'm hoping you found time to smoke something interesting, Ian.
Now, I did.
Yeah, I had a feeling. It's summertime after all.
It is summertime. I have a little bit lighter schedule over the summer. Not that I don't fill it up with all kinds of stuff, but
and you probably smoke more in the summer, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I can go sit outside.
Right. It's a lot easier.
And hang out, unless it's raining, of course.
We did have some rain here in Houston this week.
And I have a patio cover, but sometimes it just rains sideways here in Texas, and there's no escaping that unless you're actually inside.
I want you to know the day we had the biggest rain, I found one spot in my entire building that was shielded from the rain. It was really close to where we did the live show number 100 on that balcony. Yeah. There's a corner that if I pulled the chair far enough back, the wind didn't whip the rain around on me.
Right.
And I sat and had a cigar. It was awesome. But anyway, what'd you smoke that was interesting?
So I had a Montecristo Espada Oscuro.
Oh, my. So a dark black cigar.
Yes, this was made by Plasencia, actually. This was a Nicaraguan Puro, the Robusto 5x54. About an $11 cigar.
Okay.
So I went into Casa de Montecristo this morning, like I usually do on Thursday mornings. So if you're ever out there, come hang out and have a cigar.
Stop by, hang with Ian. Yeah.
And Ken happened to be there.
I saw Ken last week.
Hadn't seen him in ages, so it was
I saw
nice
him. He
to say
recommended
hi.
a couple of cigars. It was
This
nice.
is one he said they just got him in yesterday.
Oh, cool.
And apparently Casa de Montecristo gets them before they're released to the public. So
makes sense.
Yes. So anyway, I tried it on his recommendation. This is about a medium brown in appearance, smooth, leathery kind of wrapper on it, firm. Very attractive, massive label on this thing. Like the label covers the entire cigar, just about, right?
It's like a sheath.
I had to take off the lower part of the label, and it's not on the foot, but I had to take off the lower part of the label just to light the cigar. The pre-light sniff was earthy with some coffee. There wasn't a lot going on the pre-light sniff. It just smelled cigar-like, and it was nice.
Sometimes that's all you need,
and that's okay.
Yeah.
The pre-light draw, I use a punch on it. It was effortless draw. I got some earth, I got some leather, I got coffee, a little bit of tea leaves. My notes apparently put that down wrong, and it says tea leads, and some kind of walnut nuttiness in there as well. A little bit kind of like the walnut shell, where you have a little astringent kind of walnuttiness going on. The initial light was very bold coffee with chocolate.
Wow.
It was not bold, peppery, and harsh like a lot of initial lights are. It had pepper, but it was bold coffee with chocolate on the initial light. Very, very pleasant.
I was going to say, sounds good so far.
Yeah, it was good. The first third of this was cedar, lots and lots of cedar coffee, white pepper kind of in the back of the palate, towards the outside edges of the tongue where it kind of sat. Had a sweet nuttiness to the taste towards the back of the palate as well. The burn was a little uneven at first, but it just kept correcting itself. So
love when that happens.
I never tended it. It was just fine. It has about a medium ash on it. I was pretty careful about the ash, as I tend to drop ash all over myself.
Your shirt looks pretty good today. So
yeah, and I'm wearing a shirt that it'll show the ash. So.
Right, exactly.
The second third of this cigar, lots of cedar still. Sweet coffee moved way towards the front. Leather, pepper, earthy. Nutty, still had all that perfect burn through the middle of this with the medium ash. And the ash held on pretty nicely. The last third of this was cedar, more pepper, sweet coffee. It was building up that pepper a little bit, but that sweet coffee, leather, nutty, earthy, all that stuff was still there. They were kind of orbiting around that cedary flavor, and sometimes you taste one, and then sometimes you taste the other, and it was pretty interesting. I had this with a coffee, by the way, which went fantastic with this. So, as you know, if I'm enjoying a cigar, I will smoke it down pretty much till it's burning my fingers. The very, very end of this cigar got harsh. That's no count against it, because I probably should have put it down before it got harsh.
I hear you.
So I'm not actually counting that against it, but I will tell you, if you're down at the very tail end of this cigar and you're enjoying it, just set it down and go, that's enough of that.
Yeah, I got my money's worth out of it.
Because when you get real close to your fingers, it turns pretty harsh. Price to quality is $11-ish cigar, solid 6. I enjoyed it tremendously.
Wow.
And Caleb, our price to quality index works this way. We have a 1 to 10 scale, and if you get a 5, you get exactly what you're paying for. So it's price to quality.
5's a great rating.
If that's a great score. If you score above that, that means I'd have been okay with spending a little more on this cigar and still felt like I got my money's worth.
Right.
If you get lower than that, you feel like maybe it was if you score a 4, it could have been a good cigar, but maybe at a couple dollars less would have made you happier. That's kind of how that works. But I gave it a solid 6. I would highly recommend this cigar. Now, this is a very bold cigar. This is a big, full flavor cigar. So don't go out if you're into mild to medium and that's your thing. This cigar is going to be a little bit big flavor wise and power wise for you. But this was a great bold cigar. Absolutely enjoyed it.
I really applaud what a lot of the brands, the Montecristo and Romeo and Julieta and the Joya de Monterey, what these brands are doing by working with other blenders and other cigar makers to do something new and different that's interesting for their line. I mean, I'm going through and just systematically trying all of the A.J. Fernandez creations from all of those companies.
Right.
And most of them I'm just finding terrific.
Well, I mean, here's a thought to consider. Montecristo as a company for cigars is so big that they don't have to do anything new.
Right.
They could just sell the cigars they make and
what
call
they
it a
do,
good
and
day.
they're good cigars.
But it's nice that they will go out and do that, and they'll go, okay, well, I see what's happening in this community. Let's push the envelope.
And by collaborating, instead of doing the Anheuser-Busch thing of just buying them up and diluting them, it really, I think, creates something unique and something that wouldn't have been a part of their line. The H. Upmann by A.J. Fernandez, which is kind of a go-to for me these days, that cigar would never have come out from H. Upmann on its own. It's just not the style of cigar they have a tendency to blend. And so it's something new and different, and because they're a bigger company, they offer it at quite frankly, a slightly more reasonable price than some of the smaller boutiques.
You let me have one of those, and it was quite good.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's a go-to for me.
What did you smoke this week?
I smoked something. I hadn't smoked one of these in a long time. I smoked a Joya De Nicaragua. This was the Antano, the Gran Reserva Robusto Grande. And this, I guess, is a fairly new iteration in the Joya line, which, by the way, Drew Estate bought Joya. So they do the Joya cigars now, and they are I don't know how much they're messing with the blends on the existing line, but they're definitely putting out some new things and doing some repackaging. So this one was a Nicaraguan Puro. It was a Nicaraguan Corojo wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and fillers, but it included double Ligero filters that have been aged for fillers that have been aged for 5 years. So there's some aging to the tobacco in this cigar that's maybe a little more than what you get in the standard Joya de Nicaragua. I can't speak today. It was a very pretty cigar, nice oily wrapper. Pre-light was very earthy with a promise of pepper in that Nicaraguan cigar way, you know. I used a V-cutter. It lit nicely, gave me that expected Nicaraguan initial burst of pepper you almost always get. Like I said, I hadn't smoked one of these in a while from Joya de Nicaragua, but I remember them as being really powerful, kind of full-bodied cigars, most of the ones in their line. And this one was definitely from the first puff. It was a bit of a powerhouse. The pepper that started this cigar kind of stayed with me for the whole smoke. There were also some nice notes of oaky wood. I'm not good at picking out the different kind of wood, but it was either oak or hickory. I can tell you if I'm standing over the barbecue pit and I put the chips in, I can tell you which one it is.
Right.
But in the cigar, sometimes, okay, what is that? Is that mesquite? Is it maple? Is it walnut? What is it? You know. So anyway, but it was very good. The burn was decent. It wasn't exactly straight, but there were no major problems, and I needed a little bit of tending, not much. I was in the mood for a full-bodied cigar, so I really, really kind of enjoyed this. It sort of fit the spot where I was. It would not, as you said about yours, be a very good beginner cigar for when you're
not Fisher Price, my first
wanting
cigar.
something a little bit milder. I had it with a Diet Dr. Pepper, but I suspect it probably would have just about obliterated any of the whiskeys that are in my bar if I'd had it, because it was big.
Yeah.
It was very big. It almost reminded me of like a diesel or something, something like that. It had that kind of fullness to it. So I'm betting this may be one of the more full-bodied cigars that Drew Estates puts out.
Probably, in their line.
I'm guessing so. I would like to have had a little more complexity from it, but the flavors were there, and the punch of the cigar was kind of its main characteristic, and I wasn't disappointed. I will note this cigar has been extremely highly rated. I saw did a little research, saw one place where it got a 93, I think, Cigar Aficionado, and it was named the number 16 best cigar of the year for 2018, so very highly rated. The review that I read about it noted some sweetness on the finish. I didn't really get a lot of sweetness, to be honest with you. It was good, but I didn't notice that sweetness.
Well, and you did say, though, you should have had it with a Diet Dr. Pepper, so maybe that sweetness masked
that's entirely
a little bit
possible.
of it.
That's entirely
And I
possible.
may, like on my cigar where I was talking about the coffee notes, I was having it with coffee, so that was
sometimes that brings
kind of
it out.
accentuating. So,
well, at $8 to $9 a cigar, if you want something powerful, I'd say it's a good one. I'd give it a 5.5. So it's it's hard for me when I get to the $8-9 cigar because there's so many right in that
that are so
range
good.
that I love so much, and I go, well, did I like it better than that? But I wouldn't have been disappointed if it'd been maybe a $9 to $10. So
I try on that price versus quality when you get into that 9 to I think of I think of the kind of the $8 to $12 range.
Yep.
All in the same pocket, so to speak. And
More or less,
try
yes.
to take it individual. Like, how would I feel about paying for this cigar at this price?
Right.
Because when I compare it to other stuff, sometimes it's just too different for me to do I like it better than that? I'm a very moody person. Ask me what my favorite of anything is. Depends entirely on my mood.
What's your favorite Metallica song?
It depends entirely on my mood. But it's always dark and angry, and it's not past the fourth album.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet it's not from St. Anger.
No. Wait, we don't talk about St. Anger.
Okay, good. That's what I thought. All right. So I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. There's several things we want to talk about, and we definitely want to talk beer and do some tasting with Caleb. And Caleb, if you don't mind joining us for a little tequila tasting a little bit later on the show, that'd be awesome too.
Sounds good.
All right, sounds good. It is Smoking and Toasting. It is I'm excited about the show today. It's going to be a good one. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll be right back.